From the Oklahoman newsroom, this is a Thunder update. I'm Jenny Carlson here in studio with Maddie Lee, Thunder beat writer. Maddie, it is All-Star break week. I can't believe it's so fast. It happened so fast this year. Lots of stuff to talk about as we sort of hit this pseudo halfway point of the season. We're obviously coming off of the trade deadline. And so as the Thunder thinks about the stretch run that'll come after this All-Star break, they know who they got. How do they feel about that? And how do you feel about the squad they've got out there?
Sure. I mean, I think when we talked to the players, they kept coming back to exactly that. Like, this is our group. This is the group that we're going to make this run with. And they seem to feel really good about it, especially with all the uncertainty and rumors that they have been trying to keep out, but that we keep bringing up about how it would be good for the team to trade Gallinari or Dennis Schroeder or Steven Adams. And I don't think any of us expected them to be at this point. We're at the deadline, even though reportedly talks got pretty far with Miami and eventually didn't go through. That talks that would have sent Gallinari to Miami. Now they've stood pat and are in a pretty good place and are almost guaranteed a playoff spot. And I don't think any of us expected that coming into this season.
Yeah, and I do think it's interesting to, see what they've done already and then think, okay, what else could this team do? But they do sort of have an interesting situation in that, as they've stood pat, they're probably playing more guys right now than Billy Donovan will play down the stretch. What's your best guess on who may end up sort of out of that rotation of guys?
Well, it's been an interesting couple days because in January they had so many little injuries that would keep one guy out and then another. And so even though we're not to the point yet where Billy Donovan's narrowing it down to that playoff lineup, he still has too many guys. So you've seen a guy like Hamidou Diallo kind of get edged out of that rotation because Lou Dort, who wasn't even playing with the Thunder before, comes in because of injuries and Terrence Ferguson being out for 8 games for personal reasons. He starts starting, makes a case for himself to stay not just in the rotation, but he's been in the starting lineup for the first 3 games that Terrence Ferguson has been back. Now, we saw last night against Boston that he's a rookie. He's going to get into some foul trouble situations, and last night Terrence Ferguson ended up playing a lot more minutes than him because of that. But now you've got 3 defensive wings. Someone's probably going to get edged out. That was Hamidou Diallo up until you had another injury. And we will get updates later on Darius Bazley and his knee sprain. But it seems like it's headed towards that direction. If Lou Dort can keep playing the way that he has been, he might be able to get himself a standard NBA contract before the playoffs come because two-way players cannot play in the playoffs. And then that would mean you see him, you see a guy like Terrence Ferguson staying in there, and then, of course, your usual group, maybe plus a guy like Nerlens Noel, who has been having one of the best seasons of his career.
Yeah, you mentioned Dort. I'm so glad that you and your sidekick, Joe Masato, explained to people. By the way, if you missed the explainer about the two-way players and the 45 days, go to Oklahoman.com, check all that out. You'll get an education, I know I did, about how this is all working. But the fact is, a couple more games before the All-Star break hits for the Thunder. Spurs coming up on Tuesday is closest, but then a little break. And, well, for most of these guys, several will be in Chicago for All-Star festivities. And we found out late last week that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will be doing the Skills Challenge, something that was kind of a late ad for him.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's a injury replacement for Derrick Rose. And, I mean, it's a great thing for the Thunder that not only did they have a guy in the All-Star game for the 11th straight year, but also a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who we expected to be in the Rising Stars game because he had been last year and he's rising even faster this year than he was last. But for him to be included in the skills challenge, which doesn't limit age or experience, and it just shows you how highly he's regarded in this league, and those finishes are crazy, so how could you not add them in?
Yeah, for sure. Well, Maddie will be in Chicago for all the All-Star festivities, so be sure to follow her. All of our coverage at Oklahoman.com, and be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at Oklahoman.com every day in the Oklahoman.